Oh, I just took my allergy medicine, you guys. Hello, good afternoon, YouTubians. How are you? Okay, hi, hello, hello, hello. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jamila Briscoe. I am a vlogger, content creator, high priestess, spiritual counselor, healer, empath, psychic empath, and I'm also a spiritual practitioner. And I have been an anxiety and panic disorder sufferer. My panic disorder years ago actually got so bad that I didn't even want to leave the house. So it turned into agoraphobia. Okay. Hey. Hello. Yes, I'm an expert at surviving, at being an empath. So let's have a conversation about what panic disorder and anxiety is perceived as and what I believe and what my fit it really is, okay? The reason why I am an expert on this particular mental illness is because I've suffered from it. I haven't suffered from any other mental illnesses like narcissistic personality disorder, which I see a lot of people with that, trying to trigger empaths. I'll talk about that on the other channel. I might have to go in on this person. What is anxiety and panic disorder? So the reason why I decided to make this is because I stumbled upon several videos of people who have actually taken very dangerous medication. I've stumbled upon you guys that have done that. And those medications, people end up calling them the devil. Now, years ago, I didn't take medication for it, but I did briefly I didn't take any of the big medications, but I briefly took Zoloft. Okay, a very low dosage of Zoloft years ago. And the only thing that I noticed with the withdrawal was brain zaps, and that stopped years ago after I did a cleanse. So I got the medication out of my system successfully, and I lived without having panic attacks for a very, very long time. What triggered my panic attacks was when I moved to Kansas. And instead of my family being supportive, my mother sent her brother over to my house to yell at me and further abuse me verbally, emotionally, and spiritually. Okay, so anxiety, in my theory, is it a mental illness? It's being perceived as a mental illness, but there's a couple of different things that are happening when you have an anxiety attack. If you are a medium, you are actually experiencing death. It's a spirit. Okay, now some of you guys that are on YouTube and you're meant to minister and tell your story, sometimes the anxiety comes from the people around you. So your neighbors, you can pick up on when some kind of important event is about to happen. And you can pick up on everybody else's fear. And that's all people are selling is fear. For some reason, there are a lot of people, and I'm not sure who this is, but for some reason, they are experiencing nothing but fear, and they're living in that fear all the time. It's constant fear, constant insecurity, constant doubt, constant fear. Oh, the world is messed up. So when you say that, when I hear an anxiety sufferer say that, then I know exactly what's going on. Oh, we live in a messed up world. This world is wicked. You know, that tells me a lot about where your mind is and why you're suffering from the anxiety in the first place. So a lot of doctors decided to diagnose it and give you a pill for it. But guess what happened? When you took that pill, you shut off that part of your brain of cognition. Okay, you shut off things. When you take a medicine for one thing that makes you uncomfortable, it shuts off an area that is very important. So your body begins to reject those medicines. And then people will say, oh, the medicine is the devil. Well, the medicine isn't the devil. The medicine threw you off. So don't take it. Don't do it. Okay. So what ended up happening is that the medicine opened up it opened up ways in your brain, but it shut off the self-preservation. It shuts off the feelings. Okay. It shuts it off. So then that's when you start to feel suicidal. You don't feel yourself anymore. You want to die. You feel detached. So the medicine is very dangerous. I don't suggest anybody go and get on any medicine. You're not mentally ill. You're experiencing either trauma from past memories. Okay, this is what I've diagnosed with people spiritually, and my diagnoses have been helping people get over their anxiety without medication. I actually deal with anxiety on a daily basis without medication. And a part of the reason why mine is kicked off is because there's a lot of you that pay way too much attention to these people that tell you lies. They tell you that me and my family are in danger. We don't have food. We over here frying eggs. So there's nothing wrong with, so I can pick up on you guys when you guys are looking at places where you're not supposed to look, and you're trying to be a part of these groups and stuff so that you think that you're getting some kind of, and see, all that does is scare you, because all that stuff is meant to do is scare me. So there's a theory. Anxiety and panic attacks, those are spirits and or demonic attacks. Okay, so I've actually stopped it in its tracks before, because you can feel it come over you. When that anxious spirit, when that untranquil spirit comes over you, you can feel it. I can feel it as soon as it enters my body, and I tell it to get out. And that has been working ever since I've been telling them that they're not able to enter my body. I have had less anxiety. Now the angst that I pick up on, that comes from my followers. It comes from the world. So we can pick up on it vibrationally. Okay. But if you ever get to the point where you're like, I'm dying. I've actually had to have my son and come down here and tell me, no, mom, you're not dying. You're just having a panic attack. So it's very scary, but it's not a panic attack. If you are a medium, you are dealing with spirits. Most empaths are mediums. This is why narcissistic people hate us. This is why they've been on the attack, because they want our spiritual gifts. Okay. And I've noticed a couple of narcissistic people on here that have quite a large following that shouldn't, because, you know, well, I don't want to say that they shouldn't, but they're breeding narcissists, and they're totally way off on what attracts narcissists and why narcissistic people are attracted to empaths, and empaths are not victims. So I'm gonna say something to that person on another channel, because she definitely triggered me, and I think she's triggering folks on purpose. But we're not gonna talk about that. Okay, not on this channel, because this ain't the place for that. I want to reach out to my anxiety sufferers and let you guys know that you don't have to suffer any longer. We, the spiritual community, has figured this out a long time ago. It's just that you didn't understand it. So I went through years and years of suffering. You know, when I first moved over to Kansas, over to Lawrence, Kansas, I couldn't even drive home. I had so much anxiety. So the negative energy that my mother has sent me all that time in the family, it actually backfires completely. It keeps me further away from them, to be honest with you. So a lot of my anxiety came directly from my mother almost dying before she gave birth to me, and the fact that I'm a medium. Okay, so spirits, and especially when you're in a spiritual war and you got other practitioners conjuring in tranquil spirits and sending them to you. And see, they know you about your business, and they know that you mean business. When you get that stuff off of you, you get it out of you. You get it off and out of you, and you send it back to them. They don't like that. See, when you keep doing that, they'll stop. So there's many different ways that you are getting anxiety attacks, and different things is happening at different times. But the fact that you're a medium, which means that you can communicate with the dead. You can communicate. Also, psychic mediums can communicate with other realities and other dimensions. Okay. So this is where that anxiety comes from, because some of those spirits are trying to hurt you. Also, you may be experiencing the death of that spirit. It's up in the cabinet. It's probably fell down or something in the cabinet. Yeah, it's up there. We were looking for it when we were making a pie, and we couldn't find it, but we just kind of was being lazy. So you probably got to pull everything out of the cabinet to find it, because I know there's some pure vanilla extract up there. I saw it. Okay, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. Yeah, psychotropics causes, it is like putting a Band-Aid, because what does a Band-Aid do? A Band-Aid draws in moisture. A Band-Aid contains it. So then the anxiety is not able to escape. So these entities and spirits, they go in, but they can't come out. And then when you stop taking that drug, bam, it comes down on you. So you should never, ever give somebody that's spiritually possessed, because a lot of y'all that are having anxiety, you're possessed. You're possessed at that moment. Makes a lot of sense to me. Sometimes you can have anxiety, but you don't feel like you're dying. So the times where you don't feel like you're dying, but you're just having a panic attack, when your heart is pounding and things like that, what you are experiencing possibly is a psychic attack, a spirit passing through, some kind of message is coming in from your spirit guides, a warning is coming, okay? Or you may be having some past life transgression memories coming back, maybe memories from your childhood that are being triggered by things that are either seen, unseen, heard, or unheard, or maybe even spoke or not spoken. So these things are able to come back. Now, I will tell you that I do believe that this 5G technology probably is kind of messing with some of us. So a lot of us that have a lot of feeling and emotion, you know, we're going to pick up more on those spirits. See, narcissistic people don't communicate with spirits. They don't. They may be communicating with the narcissist demon, but they're not communicating with spirits. So a narcissistic person cannot help you with anxiety, okay? Because you can have $1 billion and still have anxiety. And you'd be like, dang, I got $1 billion. Why do I still have anxiety? I thought that I could buy my way out of this. Well, no, because that's your spiritual gift. So some mediums, you're actually walking through death with a spirit. Sometimes you're not understanding how to decode it, though, because nobody has ever taught you. because you didn't listen to the signs before that. After that, you didn't pay attention. What was playing on the radio at that time? What was happening? Okay, what was going on? What triggered you? Okay, so now this is what I want to tell you. I have noticed spirits and they just walking all through. And sometimes spirits can get your address from the wrong person. I done seen an increase of spirits. Like I'll think it's my cat. You know what I'm saying? I'll think it's my cat or something. And it'll be like a shadow spirit. So I'm starting to see them more often. And I've noticed an increase after the new year. So it's not a scary thing. I imagine that by the time I actually see them, I'll be completely unscared, because there was this running joke that I used to make all the time, because I've always been into ghosts and ghost movies and scary movies. And because my mama corrupted me. No, she didn't corrupt me. My mom just didn't want me to be scared. And so I would always say I would just die or have a heart attack if a spirit approached me, or if I saw one. So maybe if you feel that anxiety coming on, start to picture what that is, banish it, contain it, and get rid of it. I think the reason why those spirits want to connect with us is because they're passing through us. It depends on the spirit, honestly. You know, the spirits have many, many different reasons. Sometimes my grandmother possesses me. Sometimes my big mama possesses me. So those are good possessions. Those are ancestral possession is the best. Okay. Even sometimes I pick up on different ancestors sometimes, but my grandmother and the people that I know, those are the ones that I recognize them as. Could be something totally different, because a lot of times our family members they'll move on to another reality. So I want my grandmother to move on to another reality and be happy and not worry about her family. I told her, I said, I got them. Don't worry. I got everybody. Because she came, like as soon as my grandmother passed through, I was one of the first people that she visited. Like the next day after she died, like she came to me in a dream. And that's usually how they communicate with us. That maybe it was a spirit guide that looked like my grandmother that was warning me about a person in my family and the fact that they were possessed. So I actually know like everybody in my family that got issues. I know what's wrong with every single person in my family spiritually, including myself. And most of us are going through the same thing. Now, anxiety can be caused by the fear demon. Okay, now the demon of fear, I felt very confident that I killed it on the new year. Maybe not, maybe somebody conjured it back up. But I constantly banish that fear demon, because there is a fear demon and it's got many, many, many demons. You know, this demon was actually depicted in the movie The Gate. Y'all remember the movie The Gate? Remember that movie The Gate, Toya? Remember that big old demon that came up and it had all these little parts of itself, like they could, you know, like multiply themselves. And so that's how I imagine the demon of fear to be. But what kills the demon of fear is light. The light, fire kills it. So I didn't get that from that movie, but Hollywood and our spirit guides and our ancestors have been showing us through movies. They have been. And you know what I'm saying? They didn't necessarily they did not put those ideals in our head, because what we are experiencing is very, very real. The paranormal is very, very real. And staying on top of it. And, you know, sometimes, because like for me, I'm a high priestess. That's why I always tell people, you know, don't do too much to me. First of all, don't do too much, because if you overstimulate me, then I can start feeling anxious and nervous. And I go through enough. I already deal with enough. You know what I'm saying? Nobody should ever be attacking me. I should be very, very protected. My son has been protecting me, my oldest son. So whenever those bad spirits would come to me, my son would, you know, he always helped me through it, and he knew how to tell me and how to reach me at that moment, because you have to find yourself when that entity is taking you through that process. You need to remember that you have always survived it. So everybody is going to have an individual plan, an individualized plan to get rid of anxiety. And it's going to possibly involve herbs. Now, those of you that are getting off of those horrible psychotropics, you guys need motherwort and you need mugwort. Okay, but the motherwort is what's going to be one of the best things for you. Trying to find my motherwort. What the heck I do with it? I use it I drink the tea. I'm gonna try to find my, you know what, that's crazy. I need to put all my herbs back up. Do I have any herbs in the kitchen? No, here it is. Okay. Yeah, I need to come in there and get them out of there, because I've been making tea and stuff, because when stuff starts to get really bad, like I know that for me, I've self-medicated. Marijuana is not self-medication. CBD oil is not. We're finding out that marijuana and CBD oil, these have healing properties. Okay, so a lot of people that have smoked or did harder drugs, they actually used marijuana to heal them. Even though it seems like another dependency, we are kind of these herbs on this planet. Motherwort is really good for those of you that suffer from anxiety due to the womb. So, for example, when your mama is like throwing you out there, or when you feel like that negative entity, because trust me, those entities have been attacking you since you've been in your mother's womb. It was really prevalent around the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. All of the 60s babies, the 70s babies, and the 80s babies. It was almost like a Freddy Krueger was like touching us in the womb of our mothers the whole time. So, and it wasn't like Freddy Krueger. It was just the other side that was contacting us. Hello? Okay. 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 All right, hold on, y'all. My bags is here. My son is put this box back up. That crazy dog. She wants to come in here and play. So, guys, I'm gonna continue this discussion on, because whoops. But we're gonna wrap this up. But the one thing that I want to bring home to you guys is there's really nothing to fear but fear itself. And so anxiety is a manifestation of fear. Okay. And so what you want to make sure that you do, hold on, y'all. I'm gonna jump off camera real quick. What you want to make sure that you do is you know what's going on at that moment, because taking a pill is not going to do it. Okay, you're having an experience. Sorry. You're having an experience. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to get back on camera real quick. You're having a spiritual experience when you're having any kind of anxiety. If you're somebody that has anything to do with spirituality, the occult, if you have any kind of spiritual gifts, the medication is going to make it worse. It's not going to make your spiritual gift worse. because your spiritual gifts, when you use them, that's how you develop them. So for example, last night, my grandbaby told me that she was having teething pain. And so that was really fun because I was never able to do that with my other children like that. Like, she cannot talk yet, obviously. She's just cooing. But she had an entire conversation with me about her day and about the fact that the teething pain is really uncomfortable. So it's really crazy the way when you start to use your spiritual gifts, they start to manifest themselves. Okay, and you're able to use them. It gets stronger. So, but the medicine, what it does is it blocks off certain areas of your brain. And see, man has been fighting with nature. And all this perverted stuff that they claim is nature, that ain't nature. Telling a woman that she's evil for bringing a child into the world and that she should abort it, that's against nature. So we live, and we don't live in it. You only live in it if you accept it. Okay, so if you guys really want to get over anxiety, okay, I've had a little bit more anxiety than I normally have, but that is because my current residence is under target and attack. So that created anxiety. You know what I'm saying? And that's not going to be cured completely until I move. So sometimes anxiety can be caused by a situation, or it can be caused by having, dealing with way too much. Okay. But if you're feeling like you can't leave the house, don't beat yourself up over it. You need to contact somebody if you've got agoraphobia. It's either something in your house or something outside of your house, especially those of you that are renting. Y'all need to be careful with renting your places or residences because you don't really know your landlord. I wouldn't rent from nobody except for maybe family or friends, somebody I'm close friends with. You don't rent no place from strangers. Not spiritual peoples. Y'all should be owning y'all houses, because when you own your house, you own your life. Okay, sometimes when you have a landlord, you're sharing into their bad energy with them sometimes. So a lot of y'all got different circumstances that and there's specific reasons that you're going through this stuff. Okay. Meditation music is good, but you're going to have to start internally and externally, but not just to your physical body, but your spiritual body. Okay. So you guys can contact me if you need a consultation for healing. I strongly recommend my cleanse. Let me tell y'all if you are an anxiety sufferer, then what is going to help you is my Serenity, Peace, and Healing and Tranquility Ritual. I love doing this. In fact, Archangel Michael. Oh my God, Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael actually wants me to do a lot more healings this year. He was actually disappointed in the fact that there weren't more healings last year. I mean, there were a lot. Yeah, there were a lot of hex breakers that I did last year, generational hex removers. But, this year, the focus should be, I'm going to share screen, guys. So just heads up. So make sure you're looking at your thing. I want to show you guys my website as far as like what it looks like, the ritual on the website. Okay. It's called the Serenity, Peace, Tranquility, Healing, Aura Cleanse, and Chakra Therapy Ritual. Is still only $400. Okay. I can't go any lower than that unless I'm running a special, but it's definitely worth it. Yeah, ASMR is really good, but you know what? You can't always be looking at an ASMR video, though. It does help you wind down, though, in the evening. I love ASMR as well. And I plan on actually doing some ASMR videos, guys, because I am a healer. So the energy around me should be much more peaceful than what it's been. And so that is actually my goal, is to stop raising my voice. and to get in better physical health. So I'll be doing individual counseling for that. I don't want to necessarily like discussing you guys' individual stuff out here like this is really not the best thing to do. You know, you guys need to contact me so that we can more so speak in private about things like this, because the pharmaceutical companies, I don't hate them, but I think that what they do is they sometimes make certain people's problems worse. Especially those of you that are meant to help and minister people. A lot of you don't really know, because I've been there, done that. And so I've suffered from that. I remember when I was in Lawrence, guys, and there was a point where I think I didn't have a car. My car had broke down or something, and I had to catch the bus. Child, I wanted to jump off the bus. I wanted to jump off of that bus. And so you don't want to be on a bus or in a Uber and that spirit come over you and you like, get off of me, spirit. So that's why I went ahead and got a car again. And I don't drive a lot. I don't leave the house a lot. I don't. And that's because of the current situation out. And we're not in a very good area. This area ain't got no nature or nothing in it. It's a little creek down the street, but it's you just gonna walk out to more buildings and crap. So I'd rather create an oasis in my house over here, and because y'all know that I need Yimmy Ya is gonna take me to the lake house, and then when I do that, it'll open up so much more. Hey, is she like you? Do you want me to hold her for you? You making her bottle? Okay, because I didn't want people to think that it was just a baby crying and we're not tending to it, because you know how folks are. And you know what? My mom used to do that a lot. She did not want my son to cry for 5 minutes. I'm like, I'm making his bottle. I can't feed my baby without changing their diaper. So when I'm a mom, I change the baby's diaper before I feed them. I can't, I just, if it's pee or if it's poop, it's got to be a clean diaper, and then they can eat. And I think that you teach them something by doing that. But my mama used to be like, what's wrong with him? Like a minute later, like he just go, shit, what's wrong with the baby? Nothing. But then again, I got to remember my mother didn't raise me from a baby. My auntie did. She did. My mom didn't start raising me until I was 5. So my mother's like an expert, 5 and up. She taught me how to wash my hands, clean my face, brush my teeth. My mother taught me a lot. So it's funny how my mother is. And I was feeling a lot of anxiety being separated from my mother. That can be hard, being separated from your family and stuff. But if I feel like the family has to support each other. That's what I think. I believe in supporting your family members instead of trying to harm them. Okay. So anyway, I don't know how I got off into that. But you guys, I've got so many funny stories about my self-medication, and I actually almost died of alcohol poisoning, and stuff. And so I've been through some stuff in my life. Here, I'll give you a wrench. So yeah, guys, anxiety, I can help you get over your anxiety. Okay. So if you guys need to reach me, the link to my website is below. I am taking consultations. The Serenity, Peace, and Healing Ritual is one of the most powerful ones, because it was actually inspired by Archangel Raphael. So I'm going to be working with all of the archangels this year, especially for protection. What are you doing? Because I'm live and the baby crying is bothering people. Some people are triggered by baby crying. And we got a lot of sensitive, triggery people. Okay. Okay. She got her, y'all. Anyway, y'all have a lovely day. Love and light to you guys. Okay. Positive vibes. See y'all later. Namaste.